Okay, so New Year's resolutions, right?
Yeah.
We're all thinking about them,
Everybody's.
whether we admit it or not, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And this deep dive, we thought it'd be fun to kind of look at it through the lens of this podcast
Yeah, it's a great podcast.
that I found called New Year's Same Old Me.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever listened to this one?
Oh, I have. Yeah, I've heard it. It's really funny. I think a lot of people can relate to it.
It is really funny.
Yeah.
The host, they're so self-deprecating.
Totally.
You know? Like that whole bit about the treadmill just becoming a coat rack by like February.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's so true.
we've all been there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I'm definitely guilty of that.
So relatable, right?
No, for sure.
It's like, why do we do that to ourselves?
I know, right? Why do we set these big, huge goals?
Well, I think part of it is like this idea that we have to like reinvent ourselves every January.
Yeah, like new year, new you.
Exactly.
And so much pressure.
It is a lot of pressure.
But, I mean, coming back to that treadmill analogy, is it really about the goal itself? Or is it more about like
Oh, that's interesting.
how we go about trying to achieve it?
That's a really good point. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think sometimes we set ourselves up for failure
Totally.
by making the desired behavior too difficult.
Right. Like instead of saying, okay, I'm going to work out for an hour every day.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more like, I'm going to do 5 minutes of stretching in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Or something like that.
Yeah, smaller changes,
Yeah.
Less friction. You're more likely to actually...
More likely to stick with it.
Exactly, yeah.
I like that. Less friction.
Yeah.
So true.
It's a little psychology trick.
Yeah.
And it works.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what about the whole financial aspect?
Oh, yeah.
You know? Because the podcast host, they talk about this too. Like, they're spending all this money
Right.
on meal prep ingredients.
Like all that fancy stuff.
All the fancy stuff.
yeah.
And then it's like,
It just sits in the fridge.
it just goes bad.
And then you feel guilty.
Oh, so guilty.
Yeah.
I feel personally attacked by that.
Yeah. I mean, who hasn't been there?
Right.
It's so common.
Totally.
And I think that brings up another pitfall,
Okay.
which is like the lack of a specific plan.
Oh, you sure
It's not enough to just say, I'm going to eat healthier.
Right.
Or I'm going to save money.
Yeah.
You need a strategy,
A stray.
a system.
Okay.
Maybe that's, like you said, meal prepping on Sundays or
Yeah.
having a go-to list of healthy takeout options for when you're busy.
Oh, good one. Good one.
Right. Or for saving money, maybe it's setting up an automatic transfer
Oh, yeah.
to your savings account every month.
Yeah, automating it makes it easier.
Exactly. Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
if we're only setting small goals, is that enough?
That's a good question.
Don't we need that big, audacious goal to really
To really get us going.
yeah, to get us motivated?
Right. But see, here's the thing.
Okay.
Motivation is important,
Yeah.
but it can be fleeting.
Oh, that's true.
Right. It comes and goes.
Yeah.
What's more sustainable is building habits
Oh, okay.
through these consistent small wins.
Hmm.
And when you have those small wins,
Yeah.
you can celebrate them, you build momentum.
Yeah, you get that positive
It's-
reinforcement,
Exactly.
which makes you want to keep going.
Exactly.
I mean, think about it. Have you ever,
Yeah.
tried to change everything at once
Oh, yeah.
and then failed miserably?
Totally.
I know I have.
Yeah, it's so discouraging.
So discouraging.
Right. It makes you want to just give up completely.
Right. Exactly, yeah.
So it's better to start small, build those habits, and then gradually increase the challenge over time.
Okay, so it's like a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because in the podcast, the host, they eventually come to this realization too.
They do, yeah.
They're like, forget all these huge goals.
Yeah.
I'm just going to focus on being like
Little better.
a little better in 2025.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
That shift in perspective is so important.
it is.
It's about, embracing self-compassion.
Yeah.
And setting these realistic expectations.
Right.
Resolutions don't have to be about
Yeah.
these drastic overnight transformations.
Right.
They can be about small, sustainable changes.
small changes, big impact, progress over perfection.
I love that. I'm going to write that down.
You should. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the takeaway here is
Yeah.
instead of aiming to become a completely different person,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we should just ask ourselves,
Yeah.
what's one thing
One thing.
I could do differently?
That's it.
Just one.
Yeah.
Make it a small thing.
Keep it simple.
Make it fun.
Absolutely.
Maybe even a little silly.
Yeah. Why not?
Right.
It's the new year. Have some fun with it.
Exactly. And if you're looking for inspiration,
Yeah.
maybe think back to that podcast New year, same old me.
Oh, yeah, good idea.
And I think that's something for all of us to think about as we head into this new year.
Absolutely.
What's that one small, fun, maybe even slightly silly thing you could do differently?
It's a great question.
Right. It's something to ponder.
Definitely. Something to chew on.
Okay, well, Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
And good luck with those resolutions or, that one small change.
You got this.
We're all in this together.
We are.